What's up, everybody? Blake Arakawa, Rollins Wood. You guys know him. You know bodyboarding. You know drop knee. If you don't, you got to do some homework, man. You got to watch Fu Manchu, multiple videos. This guy is just the man. Drop knee. So,
I just want to have fun.
we all just want to have fun.
That's
man.
it. Amen.
That's the heart of bodyboarding.
For sure.
Yeah, we're here at Jiu-Jitsu gym, Roots Jiu-Jitsu. My friend Joe Jordan, he owns it, runs it, teaches it. He's a big supporter of bodyboarding. He was a bodyboarder himself. Still does ocean sports, surfing, foil boarding, but yeah, he let us use the gym for this discussion, this interview. It's more of a discussion between friends about bodyboarding. We're gonna talk about design, things like that. Rollins, where he's been, where he came from, and maybe what the future holds. We'll see. We'll see. That might be top secret. That might be in the works, but we'll give you guys a little teaser. So yeah. So Rollins.
Super excited. Definitely want to thank Joey for opening up the gym. Give out shout out to Jesse over here, Okuda, who is actually doing the video, and definitely to Blake for sitting down, taking the time with RIAT bodyboards, and just kind of talking about design, different cores, and just for my love, I love bodyboarding. Mostly I was a drop kneer, I proned a little bit, and I'm interested in the different cores that there's out there right now for drop knee, as well as looking at taking from surfboard design. I stopped bodyboarding, took a break for almost 20 years, and I was riding a surfboard, no hate, but I enjoy I just want to ride boards, I just want to have fun, and I wanted to ride something different, and it was a different perspective. It was very interesting looking at all the different types of cores and fins and channels and setups. I settled in and loving to ride twin fins. I rode really short boards, and ironically, riding twin fins made me feel like kind of like I was drop knee. It was kind of a little bit more skatey. Yeah. You know.
All rail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, twin fins. I just love the culture of twin fins. You're kind of a little bit more groovy, you know?
Kind of out of the box,
yeah,
kind of
a little bit more funky,
outcast, you know, kind of like bodyboarding.
Exactly. So I think I fell right at home, riding twin fins and being a little bit weird,
and not too cool, you know. Like
you know, having that different. You know, everybody's got thrusters and the typical boards, and you're running down to the break with your twin fin, and they're like, you know,
who's this guy?
kind of the same feeling when you're running out with your bodyboarding fins, you know.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, kind of long story for later, but a lot of things happened why I stepped away from bodyboarding. And 3 weeks ago, teaching my sons how to bodyboard, I took the board out to half point, got some incredible barrels, and it was falling back in love again. And I missed bodyboarding. I didn't realize how much I missed bodyboarding. And after riding those barrels and getting so deep and kind of stalling and riding on the foam balls, I just wanted to come back for more and more and more. And it just reignited this passion in me that I thought was gone, and thank God it wasn't. And I have mixed feelings about bodyboarding. Bodyboarding saved my life. Bodyboarding is something I did when joyous things happened in my life, and when sorrowful things happened in my life. I would go to the ocean and spend time. And so being back in the ocean on a bodyboard is amazing, but there is a bittersweet component to it that I see where our sport is, and I want to help in any way I can to bring bodyboarding to the masses and to help people understand how beautiful this sport is, and that we're not like any other sports. We are our own genre. You know, we have a different way and a point of view to ride these various waves. And so that's what I'm kind of hoping to do, as I get to be a Grom again, kind of.
Yeah, reborn, huh?
Yeah, I guess, you know.
Oh, so
rebaptized in the ocean.
Yep. So yeah, Rollins called me up a couple of days ago. I was in California, and he wanted to get cores, talk about what boards are made of, designs, especially coming from surfboarding, which I do too. I'll ride a surfboard and I'll steal from them and apply it to my drop knee. And I do that with the design too. I'll do it with board design. I'll steal from surfing, stand-up paddling, even skimboarding, just seeing how they can hold a rail or how fast they go. And I try to figure it out and implement it into board design. But yeah, he called me up and wanted to meet up. We're gonna meet up today. And I was like, dude, we're gonna have an epic discussion. So I said, I called Jesse, let's film this. I called my friend Joey at Roots Jiu-Jitsu Gym, and we just threw it all together today within like 12 hours. And here we are, so yeah.
You know what? That is, not to interrupt you, but that is a thing I learned about bodyboarders. It is the most punk rock.
Yep.
And when I say punk rock, it's not just that genre of music, it's an attitude, whether it's hip hop or whatever, but it's a DIY. Do it yourself.
Think outside of the box.
And it's like, let's just make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, let's not wait around and mentally massage an idea.
Yep.
You're like, okay, let's do this interview. So, what did you bring? What do we got here? I'm excited. I'm lit.
Okay,
I feel like a kid in a candy store.
So basically, Rollins is coming at me with drop knee in mind, drop knee designs, materials to basically be as fast, if not faster, than a surfboard. And so, let's see. I brought a few boards, just to show them.
So as we get started, here's a question I have for you. Why is it that we have always settled thinking that we will be slower? And I shouldn't say everybody, but there was a basic consensus that bodyboards were slower than surfboards.
Yeah.
Yet, I don't agree with that. I think that depending on the style, and obviously the waves, right, that bodyboarders should be as fast. If we look at Elias and different boards,
they're Elia riders. They always say this is the fastest I ever surfed, like faster than a shortboard.
So, with that being said, what do you think it is, and why did we adopt and kind of, I guess, settle for, oh, we're just slower than surfers? And no slam against surfers. We both are board riders. I ride whatever makes you happy.
I ride everything. I longboard, sand slide, body surf, build sand castles.
Yep, so for sure. You know, I love making the Egyptian ones and stuff and getting paid for it. But no, I was kidding.
Professional. He's professional at everything.
See me at Waikiki Walls, 2 o'clock today. But so, why was that ideal perpetrated and accepted, and is there any truth to that?
I think it originated with the waves that contests were held in.
Okay.
At it was tied to a surfboard contest held in crappy waves that bodyboards were useless in.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I would also say materials. It was amazing that we had the invention of bodyboards. But it was a little flexy and slow and would bog and absorb the speed. It would kind of just, it was slow.
Yeah.
No stringers. So I think that's it. But I believe nowadays we can fly. There's a board here that is so fast when I drop knee. It's faster than any surfboard I've ridden.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm excited about that board. Do you think it has to do with rigidity? Is that
rigidity?
Rigidity. Is that
stiffness?
Rigidity? No. Is it being rigid?
It's being hard, man.
Okay, I got a GD. So I just make up words as I go.
Yeah,
and then we'll insert it into the Webster dictionary later.
Punk rock, man. That's my background too. Is punk rock.
You understood what I was saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I knew.
You're there with me.
Same way.
Right? But is that because the boards weren't as rigid, so it wasn't. Maybe it was flexing too much, bogging down through flat sections versus holding through the flat section,
yeah,
right?
and
As a
carrying
planing
that speed
surface.
and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that this board?
Yeah, so this board is the first one.
Dude, I love
that I
that
started
tail.
with.
Look at that tail.
Yeah, this was on the first interview. We talked about the tail, but so today I want to just talk about the top. And I said the world's not ready in that interview, but hey, we're just gonna blow it up. So if you guys want more speed,
How about they get ready?
so this is actually the Sirlin bottom on the top, and the bottom is a HD, high density bottom, single stringer. I usually ride double, but I wanted a little flexibility because this makes it stiff, but it also, the benefits is allows you to make the board thinner and lighter, but still be super stiff. And more than just a super stiff board. So you know when you throw in like 3 stringers, guys at Over the Rocks, Rob, Dean, you guys wanted to throw in like 5 stringers. The board's super stiff.
Yeah.
You know those guys?
That's where I'm at.
They
dude.
wanted like yeah.
I want it stiffer.
So Rollins came to me and just wanted it stiff. So, 5 stringers, but the board is like solid, super stiff, no recoil projection, and it also gets super heavy. But this, you can go thin, stiff, and light, and you get this mean spring, this projection that I've never felt with a bodyboard. And so I rode this. It's freaking sick. Like I was telling you, it's like you see a section, you're way too deep than most bodyboards, and you can just hit the bottom, hit the flats, and you just like springing. You're actually controlling the recoil.
So remember we were talking about with surfboards, right? So as you're saying, okay, so this board, you're going to be able. You were saying that we're talking about spring.
Yeah.
You're coming through the bottom turn. You're feeling the spring, much like, when you're riding a surfboard and you're in your bottom turn, you're winding, right? You're coiling up, and when you come out, it unloads, and you have a lot more speed into your projection, right? Yeah. So you're saying with this bodyboard, when you're coming through, you can feel it kind of coiling, and then when you come out, it springs you out to the next section.
Yeah. You can actually hold that recoil,
really,
that spring, till you want to release it. It's crazy.
That is sick. Sick.
But so this board is flat bottom though, and I love riding flat bottom just because it just feels versatile. It's smooth and nothing really holds you up or bites and releases. But okay. So this board is an example of the Sirlin being on the top.
Yes. And
kind of layering the two materials, which Joe Kelling always talks about. We actually get the magic of the bodyboard is actually the merging of the materials, the bonding of the skin and the slick and the core. And once that kind of goes away, you kind of lose the magic feel, that magic spring. So that's the spring in this board. I rode this board, it's super fast, but then I rode this board. I made this board.
Okay, wait. Before we get to that board, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Rewind. Okay. I know you don't do anything on accident.
Yeah.
So I notice from the top of this board, if you can see it, guys, there's a little scoop here on the back ends here.
Oh yeah.
So this scoop, you're putting it these indentions for drop knee.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Drop knee and prone actually.
So explain to me, why would someone want or need this divot put in?
So first, I put it in for my knee because it's slick, right? So I didn't want my knee to slip off. So it's a little groove for my knee. And a lot of things with top contours, people say, it's kind of gimmicky. But in reality, it does do something. It will reduce volume. It will increase flex, give flex patterns. But basically for this, I also shaved it on both sides for prone to reduce volume. So you get more volume in the front. And I found, sorry about the hair.
That's a long leg hair.
You see, this is my personal board, so it's like all waxed up. But there's more volume in the front, and I found that's another magic. element in a board is having a little more volume in the front part. Helps you catch waves easier, helps you paddle. Even when you dip, it actually navigates the board to the path of least resistance.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I could use that.
It's just like a classic surfboard shape, or even the old bodyboards. There's more volume in the front, and but that's why I did this, to lessen the volume, indentation for my knee, and also for prone, dig in the hips a little bit.
So, okay, so I know you mentioned that we went a little bit thinner on this board.
Yeah.
Because of the slick on the top that allowed it to be stiffer, right? But as you sandwich that material. Should bodyboarders, like surfers, know their volume that they should be riding? Like a lot of times I notice bodyboarders will go by their height.
Yeah.
And height is a good measuring tool, right? But on various wave sizes, you should maybe venture out past your normal board.
Yeah.
So are we missing a key component in understanding our volume? Because someone that, myself, 5'7", I'm not going to mention my weight, guys, because I'm doing intermittent fasting.
It's a work in progress.
So give me a month. No, not a month. Give me a summer. Give me a summer. I'm going to be there. Beach body, P90.
Yeah. We're all
just kidding.
We're both pre-season right now.
I did the COVID additional 30.
Okay.
So I've cut out plate lunches, and now I'm back to a lot of coffee. So 5'7" and my weight versus someone that, myself at 20, at 5'7", at 150. That volume would be different.
Yeah.
Would it not? And are we teaching riders about, hey, that's great at your height, but what is the volume that you should be riding? And are we putting volume on our labeling so that we can educate riders to what would be the best boards for where they're at?
Yeah. I had a discussion about this with Sean English. He's another shaper from Kauai.
Yep.
And we were talking about that, possibly doing something like that in the future, because it is another tool to use as a rider, as an advanced rider, even as a beginner.
Yeah.
To know what volume will help you out to maximize your fun, basically, in the waves. So that would be awesome.
Because I know for my surfboards, I knew my volume, and so I could ride anything from 5'4" and up, as long as I had the same amount of volume. And we would hide it in the middle, tape, kind of taper it to the rails. But I knew that anything that had that volume, I could surf. And I guess that'd be my question: is as we start to venture down the rabbit hole of design, and we're starting to round, the noses out or play with cores, if a rider knew his volume, then whether we go 41 to 44. 42 and a half. If we're going to go a little bit more narrow, thinner, we know that or at least he knows, or she knows, the rider knows that
him, she, her, we.
I think we got all the pronouns. They.
Let's just.
They know. That I can ride this board. No matter what.
Or they could play with the volume like surfing. You could add volume if you're going to ride a summer board or a fish. So, that's...
Because I noticed that when I'm in a bodyboard shop and I look at a board, it just tells you, and sometimes it even say 42 and a half. You just kind of look at it and you're, okay, this fits good. So I don't see a lot of education. You know what I mean? Like if you're brand new to like me coming into surfing, I knew nothing. So just to learn about fins and learning about boards and rails and channels, and I mean, it was. If I didn't bodyboard and be around the surf industry, it would have been overwhelming, to a person that's new. And I think that sometimes happens when you go into a store and you want to buy a bodyboard. Go to a bodyboarding store that actually has bodyboarders. Then you can get at least educated on what would be best to begin with, because we probably could agree the board that you begin with is not going to be the board you end up with.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're going to progress in your skill set.
Yep, yep.
So, volume. We're gonna, maybe that's another video we can talk about later on or whatnot.
Yeah.
So my question is this. I noticed coming back in, way more channels, you have a flat bottom. What made you do a flat bottom on this board versus a deep single? Because I was just looking at this thing, what if there was a single concave that was deep through here that would have, you know, would have held you in the pocket more, or did you, because of this tail, you didn't need that single concave through there?
That's actually going to be my next custom board for myself.
Oh, is that my next? No.
I can make two. But I just wanted a flat bottom board just to feel what the benefits and or limitations of the other elements of my board. So,
would you, if you had that single concave, would you feel the nuances of that?
Yeah.
In there, you would.
Yeah, that's the next board I got.
Okay.
That I went after this.
Okay, so you said you got a board that's faster than this. Where's that thing?
Right here. It's this guy. But let's take a look at the bottom.
Whoa.
This has a full concave.
Oh, and so you did the whole, I don't know if you guys can see that. The whole bottom is concave.
Yeah. I would say up into here.
So what made you create, is this typically where the water flow is beginning? Like, is this round scooped out so it's out of the water a little bit? And this is your primary water flow starting from here back?
Yep. Yep. And this board is the fastest board I ever rode. It's I took it and I was just dropping on it and I was just doing these huge pumps. And like we were talking about earlier about surfboard, about I guess technique.
Yes.
That we take from surfing and apply to our drop knee. But I was just doing these huge pumps and I was just, it was like I could fly across the channel if I wanted to. Like just fly anywhere I wanted to on the wave.
Why do you think that is?
Because of all this speed, all the water flow that was being generated through this this channel, I guess you could say. Because it's wider here and it narrows, it's called the Venturi effect. And what it does is it generates lift and speed and actually increases the speed of the water flow.
It's called the Venturi
effect.
Venturi effect.
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
Milani.
Public school, baby.
Just, I barely made it. I was surfing too much. But yeah, never graduated college.
But here we are, designing bodyboards. All right.
Super fast. Creates lift and speed. And then actually this edge gave me more control.
Off of here. So I noticed there's a kick off of the rail. So, okay, so if you're doing one big concave, then why would you want to do, because I noticed some boards have quad rail or quad channels, a single to double channel. What would be the need to have those channels if you're getting this incredible amount of speed with this?
I'm not sure. I never rode a quad myself yet, so I can't really speak, but from a design point of view, I would say it would create more traction, more direction, but sometimes less is more. This you get the same benefit. Well, it'll be different. But yeah, it's just one giant vacuum channel that creates speed.
How is it for holding in the barrel?
Super good.
It's not kind of moving.
No, it just bites.
It bites
and it flies. Yeah. When you're in the barrel, you get this edge right here. And
so I'm kind of curious now to try that other board with that tail with this.
Yeah.
Because that would be because I know we were talking about with that tail, it's a little bit more like a pintail in a surfboard.
Yeah.
I'm imagining this tail would be good for half point, any wave that is thick, hollow, steep, maybe insanities, shore breaks, not so much softer waves, but this because this is going to lock you in a little bit more.
Yep.
And then if we had that deep concave in, and you could really get in there deep, right, and just hold that rail.
Yeah, because what this does is stabilizes the board too, because it's right in the middle, it bites, so there's always a point of contact versus the crescent, it'll want to slide out. But yeah, my next board too.
Our next board. Blake keeps forgetting. It's our next board.
But
so selfish, Blake.
But yeah, so
I'm there with you, buddy. When are we going? We're gonna go after this. Let's shape these things.
Yeah. But yeah, I got from our next board.
Yeah, right.
I actually have a different design in mind, but it incorporates that tail, something like this, but a little different to make it feel more like a flat bottom board, like an in-between, but still with the concave. But yeah, this board, I rode pinballs, Waimea with this board, drop kneed every wave and never pro dive, never
Really?
made every drop, and it was like air drops and stuff. Yeah, this board is like, I'm so confident with this board, it's super fun.
So I have a question. Looking at this board, why, if you've got Sirlin top, Sirlin bottom, why did you not put Sirlin on the rails?
Kind of like Firewire surfboards, if you're familiar with that. They layered two pretty stiff ones on the top, and the side is kind of soft to give flex, to give it the ability to...
That parabolic type rails?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's why I did that.
So this is actually helping with the flex.
Yeah.
It's some give in it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried one with the slick in there?
I haven't, but my friend Kyle Sumida,
Yes.
you guys know him? He's a North Shore Underground drop knee ripper. And yeah, I put the soft rails at first, and then he said, Blake, can you put the slick rails on the board too? And I said, sure. So he put it on, and it stiffened the board up a lot, and he really likes it.
Yeah. I remember you're talking with Ivan, and you guys were going to do rounded rails.
Yeah. So that's something I wanted to ask you today.
So where are we at with rounded rails?
That's the heart of bodyboarding too. So
Yep.
we're all, we talked about the union of Hawaii bodyboarders, and we're living it. We're doing it now. We're pulling our talents and resources, and we're just doing it punk rock style.
That's it. I think that is the thing that I missed tremendously, was the unity, the fellowship. We are one, right? The community of bodyboarders in the water, people.
You're making me cry, dude.
No, people just stoked to see you riding,
I'm joking.
to be in the water. It's
and then seeing your friends there and being like, "What's up?"
Yeah, it was super cool, man. Getting barrel. I mean, now everybody's of course like, "When are you gonna drop me? When are you gonna drop me?" And I'm like, "Look, I haven't bodyboarded in 20 years. Could you give me a second?" But I'm beyond excited to drop knee. I sold all my surfboards. I'm 100% like I can't get enough bodyboards. And my kids love it. And yeah, it feels good. To me, it feels like being home. It's like coming full circle. And I think maturity as I got older and became a dad, and basically corrected a lot of ways that I was few things I had to clean up in my life in my 20s. That becoming born again, that was like 15 years ago. That was born again, and just kind of developing a relationship with Jesus, and not religion. I can't stand religion, but
yeah, me too.
But just really, I think when you start to really understand, and you look out past just your circumstances and see the world and how beautiful the world is, and all the incredible things that are in it, and the people that are in it, and coming back into bodyboarding with a fresh lens to look through versus the lens that I had on before, which was very frustrating, and yeah, wasn't good. And I think it was good. Sometimes you take a break and you come back to something and you realize how in love, you know, you're with it, that you the love that you have for it, and just how much joy it brings.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how do you have
a kid again? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like bodyboarding, getting barreled, like laughing, smiling, like cheering. I'm cheering for myself. You know, you know, I'll claim it for myself. You know, 2 foot half point. Woo! You know, so I don't need anybody else. Me, yeah. You know, and just you know, I'm just so stoked to see my friends getting barreled. And it doesn't have to be this high scoring wave. You don't need to do 2 spinners, a roll and get barreled to have fun. Yeah. Just take off, smile, pull in, and you know, I mean, the couple times I did drop knee to get back into it, it was horrible. Horrible. It was 3 to 4 foot, occasional 5 foot insanities. Oh, nice. I recommend after 20 years, maybe that's not the place to try and
start
get up
again. Yeah, maybe somewhere more mellow.
But that photographer Keone was shooting with, I think her name's Kat. I think it's Kat. She's got some photos of me doing these really cool pearl head dips, where it's, I don't know how, but I think it was awesome because my feet were in the air, and my head was in the water, and like that's talent. To do that right under the lip, and then have the lip perfectly smashing.
Oh,
it's like
after
it was you know, it was a great blessing.
I think that's a new move.
So,
so, you got a name down. Claim it.
You know, paying your dues. That's what it's called. You want to turn your back on bodyboarding?
Did you get the shot?
Whammo! Yeah. So I was looking at the shots. I said, you should put that. That's hilarious. And you know, but it's great because it's so humbling.
That's bodyboarding. Yeah.
You know, when you're doing drop knee all the time, your whole life, you become desensitized to how hard it is to drop knee. And then you take a sabbatical of like, you know, 2 decades. Then you come back and you drop knee again, and it really makes you appreciate
the art,
how hard it is.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm enjoying everything about it. Sliding out, getting lipped on, eating it. But I am finding the flow. So, you know, give me some time.
Well, like you said, it's like you're coming back with a new heart. Like you said, you were reborn spiritually. Yep. And now you're bringing that perspective to bodyboarding again. Yeah. And it's even better than before.
It is. And I, you know, the things though that I miss about bodyboarding seems to be missing from the sport.
Well, talk to us about that.
Like meaning like personalities. And I noticed that with surfing. When I grew up, I loved watching Archie and Fletcher, Justin Robertson, all these like guys that just shredded. You know, Andy, Bruce, like there's so many great. I mean, I don't want to go on naming surfers because I'm going to miss tons of them. But within surfing, you had the more core division. Then you had Gotcha. Then you had Quicksilver, and you had Billabong, and all these various teams that were out there, and everybody had their own personality. And
well, back in the day, bodyboarding had that too.
Yes, it did. And you know, you had Maury, you know, and then you had
Tubes
and Custom X,
BZ, all the brands.
And within those teams, they had various personalities. That some were a little bit more colorful. We're gonna say colorful. That, like, you know,
that comes to mind. Yeah, colorful.
There's
crazy.
Very diversified people in there.
Yeah.
But it was you. It wasn't about
image.
It was just having fun and being
yourself.
You know,
and having like you said, having fun.
And but the level of bodyboarding, it was competitive in the water because surfing with your friends, you always wanted to one-up each other. Yeah. You know, in a fun way, right? Yeah. And I think that's what somewhat is missing. Is I think when I watch riders, I'm not trying to. Who am I? I haven't been here 20 years, but I'm just saying, from a spectator point of view, when I'm paddling out or I watch a lot of riders, it seems to be a lot of the same tricks. A lot of arses, somewhat spinners, maybe an invert here and there. But I don't understand how the sport hasn't evolved. Like why are we not seeing people doing MIG twists? We see a front flip or a back flip here and there, but when I see surfers do backflips and kick flips and different things on boards that are made out of fiberglass, what happened? Where are we at? You know, and this is not a knock. Like I said, I took a very long sabbatical, but I feel like our sport became beige. Like that's just my point of view. There's not all these colorful personalities and different things out there, and like I said, it's just my point of view is worth nothing. It's just my point of view, but I miss people being able to be funky, colorful, fun, ride different boards, explore, do different tricks, do spinners in the barrel, off the lip spinners, whatever, you know, like it shouldn't be, and maybe it's contests to blame, I don't know. I know that artists score high in contests, but I don't know why contests are held in 1 foot surf. I don't like to watch, I mean, I don't know who would like to watch bodyboarding in that.
They have the world tour, the waves got better when they do contests. But yeah, I'm not sure to answer your question. Like, I know there's some innovative guys in Tahiti. They're doing some crazy variations, aerial variations. But I think just in general, because we don't get the videos made that highlights each rider. Because in videos there was like rider profiles, right, and stuff like that. Now it's just short Instagram clips and things like that. So we don't really get to know the rider personally. We see them riding, we might see their picture, but their personality we don't really get to see. Like we did back in the day. And I'm sure there's characters and stuff, but
to me that was the fun part. When Bodyboarding Mag or Pit would come out and there'd be an interview, I would always read the interview. Like I was interested in their points of view and how they looked at things. I mean, it's
there's always like random weird
questions in that, right? You're like,
that's like, oh, what? And then you get the craziest answers.
I mean, some of our interviews, Custom X team, we did at the bar, so maybe that's why I had some funny random questions. You know, but even at the same time though, you know, that was just, we wanted to have fun as a team. You know, we surfed great waves. I mean, my teammates were incredible guys that I love to travel the world with, and we shared so many great stories that maybe I'll one day share, and maybe some I won't share.
Like that one DT was telling you about in Mexico.
And stuff doing that in Japan, and if I can bring it up, it's funny. I remember my passport to Japan. I don't know why I did it, but I dyed my hair this ridiculously ugly orange. And then I had like an eyebrow piercing and my septum piercing. And I remember that was my passport photo. And my passport photo actually looked like this. Like, with a shaved head, orange hair. And I didn't realize, because I was young and that was my first passport, that
they're going to reference that and look
I'm going to travel the world looking like this. You know?
So you got to make that goofy face every time.
So I go to Japan and they looked at my passport, and the guy looked at me and looked at my passport. He just shook his head, and I'm like, for the next 10 years, this is what I'm going to travel with, you know. So, but I mean, it's stuff I look back on, and it's just hilarious. And you know, like, I remember I was getting married, and I thought, I want to have a wedding photo that I look back at 40 years and just laugh my ass off. So I grew my sideburns down to here for my wedding photos that look absolutely horrible. But it works, because now when I look at my wedding photos, I just laugh my ass off. I'm like, I asked my wife, why did you let me do that? You know?
I love it, because that's what I did for my brother's wedding. I grew my hair out like this. I look like a Oompa Loompa. You gotta do it once in your life. You gotta shave your head once. You gotta grow your hair out long once. And my brother, his wife was like, "Please cut your hair." And he's like, "No, this is for your wedding." So when we look back, it's just gonna be horrible for you guys. Well, for me at least.
But I mean, that's, you know, I think, I don't know, you know, maybe, I mean, we should take life serious for sure, but think a lot of times that's what I miss about bodyboarding was the simple pleasures. And how do you take yourself so serious bodyboarding?
Yeah.
I mean, I did it for a living. I get it. I have to pay bills. But at the end of the day, I used to exit the water smiling and laughing. And when I left the sport, I wasn't exiting the water like that anymore. I was dismayed. I was frustrated. And I knew that was the time I had to leave.
So what do you think that was, and what do you think we can do now to promote more of a sport that empowers and highlights the riders and actually supports them?
I think there's a multitude of things that has to go into shaping a viable sport that allows people to actually get married and have children one day. Mm-hmm. The sport is viable when you're a single person and you don't care about living in a studio and driving a beach car.
Yeah.
Then by all means. But the minute that you maybe want to become a homeowner, afford medical insurance, do some adulting, this becomes not a viable option for most people in America. I can't speak overseas, but and maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I haven't been a pro in 20 years, so maybe people are making loads of money, but I don't think that's the case by some of the Instagram postings that I see.
Oh yeah.
So, with that, we need to, first and foremost, we need to support our community.
Yeah.
So
we have to do it.
Yeah. So it can't just be hard goods, because guys, the margins on hard goods is not really there. So anybody that's watching this, if you think bodyboard manufacturers are making tons of money, you're wrong. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't look at their books, so I don't know, but I know at least for some of my friends and shapers, and you're a perfect analogy, correct me if I'm wrong, are you buying homes and having exotic vacation rentals, or is it and not to throw you under the bus, but is it even enough to afford? And like I said, I'm not going to go into details, but is it shaping a bodyboard really enough to afford buying a home, having medical insurance, paying just your bills, groceries, car payment, car insurance, right? Or is it, I do this for the love, I make some money, but I reinvest it all back in and I have my day job?
Well, my plan was to make a living off of it, and that was based on what it would cost to live in Hawaii. But yeah, so it is possible. It is possible. We didn't do the order yet on materials, so right now I'm just doing repairs and customizations, and that's paying my bills. But I don't own a house and stuff like that. I don't drive a fancy car. But if I could do it for the love of it, like if I had some kind of income, and I could just do it pour my heart into it, I think I would rather do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, do you think that owning a business, I think that when people say money is the root of all evil, and I think money just exposes character. Because if you have a lot of character and you have money, those are the people you actually want to have money, because they will do good things with money. Right? So I don't think money is evil.
No.
And I thank God you'd want to do it for free, though I'd much rather see someone making an income and then being able to invest back into an industry. And what I'm saying is not to, I'm not saying having a fancy car or owning a home is the key. No, because we can't take those things in the end. But those are things that we can leave to our children. Not the car, but you could, but I mean, that's a depreciating thing, but a home, right? And I think that for most people, we'd want to own a home one day, right? And so what I would love to see is someone that, whether they build boards or they are a pro rider, that they can have a viable income that can provide for their family and feel secure in this industry.
Right. And doing something they love and getting rewarded for it.
Totally. Not living off of jumbo jacks. That's cool when you're 20. Maybe not when you're further along down the road. You
Yeah.
know?
So yeah.
So
It's not good for the bodyboard bod. Yeah.
I'm living proof of that. But yeah. So
Me too.
and I think that's kind of what I would love to see for this industry is money that's coming in doesn't leave and go to the surfboard industry.
Yeah.
Nothing against the surfboard industry. By all means, they're doing it right. They're supporting their industry, right? But I would question how many of us, I'm going to raise my hand first and say I'm guilty, are buying surf trunks and jerseys that are bodyboard owned. I didn't. So pot, right? Kettle, calling it black or whatever. What's the saying, right? So I'm guilty of it. I'm wearing Quicksilver. Now,
okay. Yeah.
I want to buy jerseys and surf trunks that are owned by bodyboard companies, but I can't seem to find one. And this is weird, call me weird, but the boards that I ride, the company that I ride, I would like them to make trunks, or at least some apparel company that's owned by bodyboards. I will gladly fork over $50, $60 for a pair of trunks. I might not even like the color scheme, but I know that if I spend my money within the bodyboarding industry, I would hope and pray that that person that's running that company has enough character to keep that money cycling within the bodyboarding industry.
Yeah.
Right? And to me, that is how we can start to grow our own industry. If we keep looking for handouts to other companies, then we're not a viable option.
Yeah.
We need to become a viable option for our own riders and our own culture.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I just got this in the mail today.
What's that?
It's a leash, a bodyboard branded leash from Vehemence. Vehemence.
I liked our Instagram page.
50. Yeah. So
Their
they're
Instagram page is sick.
They're a hardcore bodyboard company. They sent me this leash. So let's do an opening. Yeah. So yeah, we got this leash. Oh. It looks good quality.
You know what I really love about it? It's black.
Yep. They're hardcore. Their image is hardcore, which I like.
Yeah, I love the lettering.
Yeah, their videos are sick too on Instagram.
That is a sick leash.
Yeah, the padding's good.
Sick. And you know what's sick? They got a pin for your jacket. You haven't seen these things forever.
Punk rock.
Bam! That's awesome.
I like this where it swivels, but it doesn't stick out. I like that personally. Sick. So thank you.
Bam!
Sticker. Yeah, and he hooked it up for free. And you know, I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna buy leashes from him, shirts, whatever. And
yeah, I'm gonna buy this leash.
Actually, Jesse from Intimate Hawaii Weddings made a video for him with Ivan Okuda riding their products. So everything's going full circle here. It's
I like it.
Companies keeping the money in bodyboarding, supporting each other.
Amen.
And yeah, I just want to thank you for sending me the leash and the stickers and pin. And
I like the logo.
Sick, yeah.
This logo is, yes.
Yeah, I'm stoked. So yeah, but that's just a little example of bodyboarders supporting bodyboarders. And
I think that's just, in the end,
is that the answer?
I just think that it's like skateboarding. We need to not look out, but look within.
Yeah.
And build our community.
Exactly.
And support each other in our ventures.
Yeah.
And once one starts to get a little bit of traction, that'll inspire the next person to do it, and the next person. And why can't we have 4 or 5 clothing brands within bodyboarding? You know, why can't we have multiple leashes? We already have multiple, board designers. And I think that in itself will help to fund and grow our industry so that the young Grom that's growing up that has dreams of being a pro bodyboarder can one day turn pro and raise a family and be able to do what he loves, and hopefully pay it forward as he mentors the next generation.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what my hope is coming back into bodyboarding, is what can I do to help the next generation grow in this sport. You know,
so like how we talked about the Hui, the Union of Hawaii Bodyboarders in the last video, Rollins is on the same page too. Since then, I talked to Joey Vieira, I talked to Sean English, multiple guys. Jimmy Huta from the foam company is in. And
yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, we're gonna get this thing started and invite everybody. We invite all you guys from company owners to pro bodyboarders to just bodyboarders.
You just love bodyboarding, videographers, photographers. Man, Jimmy rips drop knee.
Oh yeah, he's still killing
gosh.
it.
You know what? I was just watching. So I've been like scouring YouTube right now.
Oh nice.
Watching all these bodyboarding videos.
Drop knee.
Right, and so you know, Bud's drop knee airs, and like there's so many great riders, and it's awesome to see DK sessions in Australia.
They're doing their
Mason
thing.
is drop kneeing again.
Oh,
Mason kills it, and so
there's a resurgence, I think.
It's just, I'm so blown away and excited to see where bodyboarding is going, and remembering what it was like for me, and hoping that I can repay bodyboarding by helping maybe just nurture it or the next generation of this.
I think this is an awesome time because there's a resurgence of pro bodyboarders coming back to the sport, wanting to support it and give back to the sport.
Yep.
And so I think now's a good time where we kind of learn from the past.
Yeah.
We take the future, the youth, and we give them a platform to spring to the next level.
It was like you and I were talking about that, you know, now we're parents, right? And so we remember how we were raised from our parents, you know, and they did the best they could. 100% love my parents.
Yeah.
But we take away things that we liked and we disliked from our childhood. And when you become a parent, you're like, okay, you know, there's no book that came with a child, but I can reflect back and say, okay, as I was growing up, this is how my parents educated me or taught me or disciplined me or whatnot, right? My examples. And I could use that shopping cart method, right? The things that made me who I was and that I enjoyed, I took along. The things that I didn't, that maybe I wanted to tweak or change as raising my children, I'm going to change and go a different path. And I think that is what's great, is coming full circle. Like, it's great. I'm seeing Keone Gunderson in the water right now.
Yeah.
He's ripping. He's got me inspired, drop knee all over the place. It's awesome.
All island, everything. He's going everywhere.
Yeah, see, we're talking about Ivan, that killer barrel shot. I think it was at Ivan Nose.
Yeah.
Yep. You know,
off the walls, Elkai, all over town.
I'm excited because I see riders like Kavika that at half point, and I saw him at off the walls, and just his not only drop knee but proning and how smooth he rides and his style. I mean, we're in good hands, Hawaii bodyboarders. Right now.
A lot of talent.
But I remember we were so many more in the lineups. You know, that when I'd go to courts or concessions or even insanities, it would be littered with bodyboarders. And now it's the occasional bodyboarder. You know,
I kind of like that. Like that it's empty now. But as a whole, like seeing the sport grow, I want to see more because there's times that off the walls, I'm sitting there by myself,
alone,
even totally alone, no surfers, nothing. I'm like, where is everybody? Where's all the bodyboarders at? You guys are at Sandy's. I know it. You got to come out. And there's more than enough waves, and I feel kind of lonely sometimes. But, see, I think that's awesome because guys like Rollins will bring that experience and knowledge back to the sport and give it back to you guys, you young aspiring pros, to actually better yourselves then and not make the mistakes that they made back in the day, and negotiate better contracts with the companies and things like that. So that's awesome, and I think everybody has something to contribute.
100%. We got to
put our heads together.
We got to hooey up, you know, and you can't look to somebody else to fix things for you.
Yeah.
We have to look at ourselves and within our industry and how do we make it better for the next generation.
Yeah.
You know, because the pros that were before us did that for us.
Yeah.
And so we need to keep pushing it forward. We need to keep paying it forward. And how do we make it better and better for the generations that come after us? And how do we grow this thing? I know it's happening in Australia and Chile and all these other great places, but you know what? I'm from Hawaii. How do we make Hawaii the best? That's what
that's what I want to do too.
I'm born and raised here. This is what I want for my hometown.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's just kind of, you know, what I'm vibing on. I love it. Support DK Wars, guys. Like Chris. Chris is support it. It doesn't matter if you don't drop me, start dropping, but support DK Wars because these are the contests that are done homegrown. He gave away 13 grand last year. 13 grand last year to the winner.
That's giving back to the sport.
13 grand. 13 grand. You know what I would have done for it? I mean, dude, yes, okay, I understand it was at Walls or whatever. We're talking about a new thing, but 13, for 5 grand, I would have been a Walls rat for the whole summer.
Dude.
I would have been on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So 13
That's a lot of
grand.
bodyboarders. A lot of bodyboards.
Yeah.
5 grand.
So support the contests that support you. You know, and that, I think that was a big thing is, you know, whether you are doing it or not, even if I think the entry fee was free. I think it was free, in fact. You just had to make a clip. But even if the entry fee is $30 or $50, guys, support the sport that supports you. I'm going to leave you with this. Every dollar that you spend outside of bodyboarding, you're voting bodyboarding out. And every dollar that you spend within the bodyboarding industry, you're voting bodyboarding in. So every time we go to a surf shop and we're going to spend our money on a company that doesn't support bodyboarding, we're voting our sport out.
Yeah. So instead of buying a Dakine leash, buy a bodyboard leash.
Or 662.
Or a hub leash.
Or a hub. Or whoever.
Yeah.
And I think that's the lens that I look through is every time now I'm buying gear, I'm looking at, if I buy this here, who am I supporting? I want to vote bodyboarding in.
Yeah.
You know, nothing, like I said, I ride surfboards, nothing against surfing or anything like that. I love riding longboards, whatever, McDonald's trays. But I would like the thing that I love to thrive. That's what I would like. And if we collectively start maybe adopting more of that philosophy, we can make the thing that we love thrive. What do you think?
I think that's the key. Awesome.
Right on, guys.
All right, Rollins.
Have a good one, brother. Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good talking.